Hi, this is Stefanie Maegan. You're listening to Broke Girl Therapy. Because therapy is too expensive. You're listening to Broke Girl Therapy. Broke Girl Therapy.
Hey, my man, for real. We just
That's the new thing now, so I know like when to like sync up the audio.
Oh.
It's just like for post production.
Oh my God. Who are you?
I don't know.
I love this.
It's been so long, my friend.
It has been, hasn't it?
It really. I feel like there's a new version of you that I'm about to meet.
Oh my God. Do you know what I was thinking about?
It's still you, but you know.
I was thinking about this earlier today. I was like, I don't know if Steph's famous, but you know how typically if people don't come that were regular in the beginning and they don't come on the pod for a while, people think like we're fighting or something.
Right.
I was like, I saw people probably out there thinking, me and you.
Like, are they
are they beefing?
I wonder because, I mean.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Like, the last time you were here, it was in February.
What? Really?
Yes.
That was a long time ago.
It was right when I got my couch, and it was right when I got my cat.
Dang. We have a whole new coronavirus.
Exactly. We got a whole lot.
We got a Delta. We got an Omega.
We got Spirit. Just kidding. I don't know. That was a stupid joke. Like, we got Spirit.
Girl, but I love you. I'm so happy to be back, guys. This is my home.
This is your home.
It is my home.
We'll see in October.
No, literally and figuratively. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Hey guys, it's me, Stefanie Maegan, your host of Broke Girl Therapy. And guess the fuck what?
I'm back.
We got Jessica motherfucking Clarke
That's
back
me.
in the building, bitch.
I'm so excited to be here again. Thanks for having me.
Yes. But okay, so our infamous episode, Manifest a Man.
Oh, yes.
We talked about what we wanted in a partner.
Yes.
And now here we are.
We are.
I'm in a relationship. We already exposed that. We know who Bae is.
I loved. Can we talk about that episode, guys? I was like, oh my God, she's in love. I've been here.
You've never seen me like it's
No,
not a lot of
I've
people
been
ever
through
seen.
so many stages of relationships with you. And this was like, you know, like all of them were like, oh my God, I got to protect my girl. But this was like, nah, he got her.
I know because you were always like with Morgan. I remember the day you met him when you were moving in our old place because we used to live together. So you were moving in, and I remember like I went up there to go say hi, and Morgan's with me, and you literally, Jess, I watched your eyes go up, down, turn around. Like you were like not impressed. And afterwards, he was like, why is she looking at me like that? And I was like, well, you know, you got a girl, right?
No comment. We don't comment on.
I mean, we know.
People.
We know how
that turned out. But I just said my spirit be discerning things, and whatever he was giving, my spirit did not like. Apparently,
you were not into it.
I was not.
You liked Charles, though. You thought Charles was cool, but you didn't like him for me. But you
no,
liked
I thought he was generally a good guy for someone,
but just not for me.
No. This is your boyfriend now is the only one I have peace about.
Right? It's just so like drama free.
Yeah.
There's no stress.
Tears, barely.
Literally, barely. Just great, happy tears.
Yes.
But it's just like.
And he gets you. That's what I love. He gets you.
Yeah, and I could just be myself. He's like no judgment zone.
Right.
And
no judgment zone.
Yeah.
No judgment.
Is that a song?
It's like no flex zone.
Oh, okay.
I
am hot.
I got this braided wig on, child.
Girl.
And yeah, we gonna get it together though.
Like my tits. Like, but it's just like I wasn't that hot earlier, and then I think it was just with the lights and the heat.
The heat.
And
it's hot outside, to be fair.
It is. But okay, anyways. Yeah. So we all know I got some man. He's great. He's amazing. Shout out to Brian.
Hey, Brian.
But we haven't talked. Like, you and I have not hung out. And every time, like, we have talked, I'm like, I know that, like, we should talk. like, everything is just seems so good. I'm like, can we just save it for the slot?
I know. We're just like, we can't even like have a good conversation because we have to save this for you guys. Oh, before I begin, everybody knows I'm sober. I'm drinking a non-alcoholic beer. So don't come for me unless I send for you. And cheers, bitch.
Cheers. They're not sponsoring, so we'll just do it.
Yeah. That's what, I think I did that. I was like.
And I'm drinking rosé. You got me rosé.
I did. Rosé for my honey.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But back to Bay.
Yes.
So I just like saw this man.
Ain't he a man?
He a man. And I was like, this looks like her type. Oh, this is her man. Like, I literally was like, this is not just some man that you put on your Instagram. Like, oh, because this is like a man. This is like, yo, like this is a thing.
That's my man. I'm gonna stick beside him.
Yeah, exactly. And he literally looks exactly how you've manifested.
Yeah. Right? Isn't that crazy?
Can we talk about how? I don't know how you guys met. Or
okay.
Did you tell me? No, we didn't. No.
I don't think I don't know, but I'll just tell you. So I met him 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I met him. He was in brand.
I love that I actually went straight to the microphone.
Really did.
Like, I didn't like move my mouth was away, but I went straight to the microphone to do it. Okay, continue.
And he was in a relationship then, and in a very serious relationship.
Wow. Oh wait, you did tell me this, but okay.
Yeah,
tell everyone
very
else.
serious relationship. And when I saw him, in my mind I was like, that's gonna be my husband. And I was like, he does not need to be with the other girl, he needs to be with me. And I was confident in that, and I stood in that. And that was on period, no regrets.
Oh shit.
No regrets. Anyway, obviously, we're very respectful people. I didn't take his number. He didn't take mine because he was in something, and I wanted to respect that. And I knew that if I got his number, girl, I'm taking somebody else's man. And that's just not my vibe.
Right. We're not doing that. Steph 2019.
But trust and believe, when something is for you, honey, it's for you. Yeah. So what happened? So a couple years later, I think, what month was it? In March. Yeah, March. I saw, when it's like somebody's birthday and then someone reposts people shouting them out for their birthday. I saw him on somebody's story, one of our mutual friends. And I was like, oh, there's that guy who said he's going to be my husband. So I followed him. He slid in my DMs. And then we've literally been talking ever since that day, every day.
And he was like, I'm single?
So he slid in my DMs and he was like fire emoji, and I was just like eyes or whatever. And I was just like, I think I asked something like, how is your relationship going? And I was like, are you still in something? And he was like, single as a Pringle. And he was like, are you married? And I was like, nope.
You're like, there ain't no ring.
I was like, ain't no ring.
It was a cubicle. Was it the cubic circle, the fake ring? The fake ring that your ex got you?
Yeah, exactly. So, oh my God,
the cubic. What's the name again?
Cubic zirconia.
The cubic zirconia.
That's just nonsense. Ring. So just nonsense. So So then ever since that day, we've just been FaceTiming, talking. And the more it happened, I was just like, the more we spoke, it was just like, wow, this is it's going very fast. We connect like this so quickly. But I have to be careful with that too, because I naturally connect with people. I think that's like one of the things about me. I'm good at connecting on an emotional level with people very quickly, very easily. I don't know what it is.
Cancer.
But probably because I've been through so many different stages in life.
Right.
I think
you're you're an extra. You get along with people really well. You're a great person. You're friendly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we got along, but then it was like every single day FaceTimes. Then it turned into falling asleep on the phone every night, and then it was like, oh, I'm going to see you, and then it was.
Where does he live?
So he lives in Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah, so but I'm in a long distance.
Look at us both in long distance relationships.
But that's like major long. You know what? When I write a book, it's gonna be called "Lord, Why Can It Never Be So Simple?" Like, literally, my life is just never straightforward. It's always supposed to be some lesson in it.
Yeah, there's always like, oh my God, all these great things, but like we gonna give you something to really work on.
Exactly.
It can just never be.
It can never just be hey, you meet someone, get in a relationship, it works, you get married, everything's fine. Not my life. My life doesn't work like that.
But that's no one's life.
It's some people literally meet someone.
But are they really happy though?
They are. I think it's just general. Like I think they are happy.
Question. But like every relationship has this thing though. You know what I mean? You just don't know about it.
Right. So I'm not saying that like you don't go through things.
But no complications.
But it's like no long distance things going on. It's like no everyone's emotionally available.
I kind of like having a long distance relationship for the first part of the relationship.
Yes. For the first.
Why for you? Why do you like it?
Because I think, especially in this point in my life, I'm in school, I'm at work, I'm just busy. And so I'm just not in the place to really give everything to that person. Right. And so I think it's just, it makes it, and because it's so new, it allows you to take your time to do things. To build your relationship, build your friendship.
And also like tests to see like, do you trust them?
Yeah.
Are you able to communicate with one another? Mm-hmm. Like all of those definitely get tested.
Yes, so I feel like sure.
And all you have is to communicate. So like when you guys talk, it's like, well, there's not any activity you're doing.
Exactly.
Like you have to literally talk to each other.
Exactly. And
so it's hard.
It is very
It's hard, but it's like when it's the right person, it's like it's easy to do.
And that's the thing. We've never had a problem talking. Talking is always, and that's one thing I love dearly about him is that he's a great communicator.
You say I love you?
Yeah. We said I love you a while ago.
Oh my God, Jess.
I know. I slipped up and said it, and then I was like, okay, thanks, bye, I love you. And I was like, oh, I didn't mean that. When I say I love you, I meant that I love the idea, of this nonsense. And then
you were like,
I was like, I'm not saying it first. Exactly. But then he ended up saying it first. So,
aww.
Yeah, but
Jess,
I know. I'm happy, but
who are we?
But let me say this, though. I'm not his girlfriend.
Why? What do you mean?
I've not been asked to be his girlfriend.
Did you tell him that you want him to ask to be your girlfriend?
So let's talk about this. This is what I wanted to...
Okay. We're here. Let's do this.
We're here. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, this is a broke girl therapy intervention. Not an intervention, but I do want to know what your opinion is.
Do you need advice from me?
Honey, it really may be.
Bitch, this never happens. It was always you telling me, like, what the fuck are you doing?
I was like, I need to save this for the pod because I think it's a lot to think about.
Are you worried that he's going to hear this?
No, I'm not, because I think it's something that we've been... I told him, I was like, I'm going to talk about us in the show. And he was like, well, let me know because I know there have been things in your mind and you're not telling me, so maybe you would say it on this episode.
Maybe just say it here, and then now you have to tell him before he finds out through the show. That's what I've done before.
I think he understands the general idea of what I'm getting at, but...
Okay, let's go.
So, he is an entrepreneur at heart. He has a 9-to-5. He's an engineer. He's got his degree. Amazing job.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's doing very well for himself, but he also has a business on the side which he wants to grow. And no one told me that dating an entrepreneur is a art within itself.
It's a real thing.
There should be a support group for dating entrepreneurs.
For sure.
It should be like, yeah, there has to be, because it's very difficult, especially when the person is just starting out and they're very passionate. And let me preface this by saying, the person, I'm going to call him Fred. Let's just call him Fred. So he was in that very serious relationship. He had, it ended very bad. And it left a lot of residue, and it hasn't been that long since that relationship ended. So when I came into his life, I wasn't expecting him, because whenever I came on the pod, I was always saying I'm loving being single. Right. I was not expecting him at all.
No, you were living your life.
I was living my life, and he wasn't expecting me. So it was kind of like we're not expecting each other. We don't know where this is going, but it's just like it becomes a train that you can't stop. After a certain
when it feels
natural. It gelled, and I can't be without him. Like, I'm just connected to him like that. And it's not on an emotional level. I just feel like God has made this person for me. And when I started dating him, within the first month, I was praying about him, praying about our relationship. my usual prayer, God, if he's not for me, take him away right now.
Right.
And God told me, you're going to have to be very patient with him. And I didn't realize what that meant until now. And I should have known, because if God tells me something, I should have known that it's going to take like extra patience.
Right.
So he's an entrepreneur, and he just got out of a very tumultuous relationship, and he's trying to heal. He's in a healing process, and I respect that.
So he's like me.
Yes. Very much. And this is
like
this is why we are here.
This is why. Okay, this is why you need my advice. Okay. So this is like how I was with like Brian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
The difference is we had, and you know, I want to be someone's girlfriend.
Right.
However, and because in my mind, you're just thinking the traditional thoughts. Okay, if he doesn't ask you to be his girlfriend, that means he's just not ready to commit. That means he just wants to date more. You know, all those traditional ideas that we have in our mind as women.
Right.
But that's not the case with him.
Okay.
I have no doubt that this man is deeply in love with me. I have no doubt that this man's going to be my husband and he wants me to be his wife. No doubt about that.
Right.
However, and not even however, I just think that I have to be more patient with where he's at, because he takes titles quite seriously.
Right.
Especially if he's going to call himself my boyfriend, he wants to be able to give me his all as a boyfriend. And he doesn't feel that he can do that right now.
Yeah. Okay. I need to have a talk with him. Sorry.
She said, okay, I need to have a talk.
Because I don't think it's like, I mean, I don't, from the way that you're describing him, I don't think it's like a shady thing, but it's just like, I don't know. I have my opinions on stuff like that when people think like that.
And, you know, the thing is, I cannot fault someone for wanting to be better for themselves,
right,
and loving themselves fully before they can give themselves to someone else. I cannot fault someone for that, and I don't fault him for that. And
right.
I'm going to, the thing is, he's told me, if you...
I mean, that's true. I get that, because it's like, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
My mind is
no,
just like
ahead.
switching. Because I get it with the whole like coming out of a really bad breakup and then jumping into something, and then also like figuring out his career. Like, I get the slow pace. How long have you guys been dating?
It's nearly 6 months.
I feel like it should be fine. I don't know. I mean, everyone heals differently.
Yeah, and everyone heals differently. And I think with God telling me about patience in the beginning, I was like, this is the patience he was talking about. Because,
right.
And to be honest with you,
well, when is that? But at the same time, though, when is it ever the right time? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like...
But also, what does it mean to be someone's girlfriend?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what that's where my perspective changed. Some people are probably going to be like, that's just an excuse for these mans and all these niggas. And I'm just like, I understand that for a certain type of guy, but my person is a noble man of God. You know, he Christian. You know, that's one of the things I wanted.
That's exactly
he hella
what you
Christian.
wanted, yeah.
And so he's very noble. He has a lot of integrity. And so my issue is not what he's doing with other women.
No, yeah, of course.
So so that's not where my concern is. But the way he explained it to me, he's just saying, I can make you my girlfriend right now, but I'm the boyfriend you want me to be. I cannot be that. So which one do you want? And I'm just like, you can't.
But with the label, how is it going to be different?
I think with the label, mentally for him, he wants to be in a certain position emotionally. He wants to be in a special position in his work. And he's in a big transition right now as far as his business. And so he just wants to be in a certain space. And he's an African man. African men are stubborn.
Yeah.
Very stubborn. And he just wants to be, he sees himself in a particular place where he wants to be before he introduces that. I know that is never, as you said, is never going to be the right time. But sometimes, and the controlling Cancer in me wants to be like, it's never, I just want to be like, give me you as the way you are. I want it. Be my boyfriend and don't do nothing. I don't care. But then the mature Jessica is like, no, if he calls you his boyfriend, there are going to be certain expectations that you're going to want him to meet. Now, at the same time, though, he's done more for me as my friend than a lot of these girls and their boyfriends be doing for them, period.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's proven himself that he's not just like some other motherfucker that's just going to be here being like, I'm not ready.
Absolutely.
I mean, I get that because there was a time where I did like end things with Brian for a minute because I felt like it was so because I did really like him and I knew that I was falling for him, but it was just so overwhelming because it was like, wait, like I still like love this other person that I'm trying to get over. And it's just like, it's a weird situation to be in when you're like, wait, I still really love this person, but I'm also falling in love with another person.
And I think that's exactly where he is.
And that's a weird place to be. So I get him. Now that you put him, I guess with the whole work situation, for that part, I'm always just like, bro, like people lose jobs, gain jobs, and transition to different positions. Like work comes and goes. But as far as like the mental, emotional state of like loving someone and getting over a breakup, like that's different. So that's where I kind of empathize with him.
And I think also the way, I think you resonate with him because it was as severe as the Morgan situation, his situation. It was a very severe situation.
Did he get cheated on?
No, he didn't. I'm not going to put his business on blast.
Sorry. I'm like, tell the story.
I'm not going to put his business on blast. But and the thing is, with African men in general, when they give you a certain part of them that's very hard to give and you damage that, in their mind, it's like, this is why I don't do this. So then for him, it's just like, okay, this amazing girl has come into my life and she wants me to give her the same thing I just gave to someone a few months ago. And
you were just saying, I love you just to somebody else. And then they did that. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's going to take, it's taking time for him to build that trust. And as you said, transitioning out of love with someone else into.
Well, no one ever talks about how like sometimes you could be in love with an ex that you just broke up with, but then at the same time you're falling in love with someone else. It's such a weird place to be in because you're just like comparing so much, and then you're also like, "Am I ready?" And it's overwhelming because you're like, "Is that even fair?" And like,
and then it's just, and then I'm also just like, I'm also trying to not be selfish because the selfish part of me is like, I get what you're going through, but F that. I want this right now. I want to be your girlfriend now.
You're like, I don't deserve to go through the pain that you went. No. Yeah.
And that's what and that's another thing God told me. It was like, you're also going to have to realize like there's gonna be certain things. You're gonna have to endure some of the residue from his past, and you have to be. And that's why I mess with God, because He put me on. Like literally a month or two when we were talking.
Right.
So all these things, I was expecting them, but I just didn't know they were going to manifest in that way.
Right.
And that's also how I know it's kind of real, because there's a newfound understanding I'm having with him.
Right.
But I will say that I have to always battle my thoughts. Like yesterday, we're just talking about, me, I'm having to move and everything like that. And I was like, what about Ohio? And like, you want someone to, and he was like, I'm not ready. In my mind, that was rejection. That was, oh my God, he doesn't want to be with me. He doesn't love me. That's what that was giving to me. But then I had to be like, no, that's probably residue from your past relationships. Because I do battle with people just not, in the past, I feel like people have not been willing to bet on me. And not being willing to give me their all. I feel like I'm always hitting that wall. And so the situations I've been in the past and hit this situation, relationship, whatever it is, they're very linear. Well, I should say they're adjacent, but they're rooted in different things.
Yeah,
you know
what
I'm
for
saying?
Different reasons. It's not just because like he doesn't want to be with you. I mean, if anything, it shows like respect for the relationship at times, because it's like, at least if he wants to get there, but he's taking his time and not just rushing just to get over an ex.
Yeah.
Like we all know those people who just like fucking
rebound.
Right. And jump in so quickly without like really taking the time. Like I feel like even with my relationship, I was like, I know that this could seem very quick, but like you can't help how you feel sometimes, so you just have to do the best that you can do. And that's why I said like long distance is like perfect in situations like that, because he could like be on his own and heal.
Exactly.
And you could just like be doing you, get your shit done, and yada, yada.
And some of the best advice I received was when my aunt told me, she was like, this is your relationship. And I don't know about something about that kind of, because I think we compare our relationship to so many traditional things that we see. Like, you know, all these things you see on Instagram, these posts, as much as we don't want to admit it, those things like there's something in your mind that says if he does this is what a couple looks like. If he don't make you your girl in a certain amount of time. And she had to remind me, like, this is your relationship and it's something that belongs to you and you have to take ownership of, and it's something new, and so don't attach it to anyone else's relationship. Exactly. And that is mine, you know. And I love it. I love the way he treats me. I love the way he loves me. I love the way he makes me feel.
So what do you think would be like, let's say if he did this for like 2 years, would you be upset? What would be like the final straw and be like, okay,
girl, when God tells me it's enough.
Okay.
No, I don't have
because that's a real thing too, because I don't want people like, you know, like, I'm not saying this is going to happen to you, but like, if people are listening and they kind of relate, like, okay, let me like take my time with this person, but maybe they're not the right person. And like think that like in 2 years they're just going to change their mind, like kind of like, you know what I mean? Like I needed to kind of like say that just so that, again, this is your relationship and that's their relationship.
Exactly. And I think that at the same time, giving this person, I would say, a pass or being patient with the person, that also do not forget yourself and don't forget your needs, because that's something I had a battle with, because I felt like if I wasn't getting everything I want, that means is a disservice to me. But there's a balance in that. There's certain things.
Because he's like shown you. That's the thing. Exactly. The difference. It's like he's not, because of the difference between Morgan, because Morgan never officially asked me to be his girlfriend. It was just one of those, like, I mean, we're exclusive, so I guess. Yeah. You know, but like he never did a lot of things to show that he really cared. Right. You know, like he didn't take that time to like come see me or whatever it may be. Like, you know, he didn't like stay loyal to me or anything. You know what I mean? Like, he obviously cheated. But like, yeah, it's just kind of like it's a case by case situation.
And he's come here twice. Right. I spent 3 weeks with the man.
Yeah, I remember I called you.
Yeah, I was like, I've been here. I bought a one-way ticket there. I've met all his friends. I've hung out with him. How was it like just staying with him for 3 weeks straight? Oh, it was natural. It didn't feel like, it felt like, oh, this is my life. You know, that it didn't.
It feels so good, right?
Yeah, I was just like, this is it for me.
And doesn't it feel good just to have like a partner you just feel so comfortable with?
Absolutely.
And then like also you just like take care of each other.
Yes, and that's what like
it's so nice. I love being independent, but like
when things turn into it's just like, we are going through this. Okay, what are we gonna do about this? That to me was just like, okay, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was gonna say
I'm so happy for you.
Thanks. Are we out of time?
No.
Okay. So I was just saying that
I just look at my clock all the time.
One thing I will say to the girls out there that may be going through this similar situation is that he, as I said, invited me. I've gone to stay with him. So it's not like he's denying me. It's not like he's keeping me a secret. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And for my birthday, he surprised me. He was like, he's not coming. And then all of a sudden, my friend was like, oh, come to my house, come pick something up real quick. And I was like, it's for your birthday, day before my birthday. And then I was like, okay, I don't know what this is. But so I go there, I walk in, all my girlfriends are standing there. And I was like, and my girlfriends don't know the person that invited me to their house. So I was like, what in the world? Yeah. And then he comes walking in with a cake from the balcony. And I'm like, what?
That is so sweet. I'm gonna cry. Are you crying?
No.
I feel like your eyes got like a little teary, or just me. Everything makes me cry.
So I found out what happened was he texted one of my friends, because we had a group chat for something else for my birthday.
Girl, I would have sucked the shit out of that dick. I would have sucked so much dick that night.
He
like,
took
that is
so
the
much
sweetest thing.
Yeah, he did. So, and so things like that, I'm like, you can't tell me this man doesn't love me, because half of you hoes out there and your man don't even buy you flowers.
I feel attacked. No, I'm just kidding. My man has bought me flowers so many times, but my old men, never.
So Yeah.
And it's so nice to get flowers.
Yeah, I love when he sends me flowers.
He just sends you flowers?
He sends me flowers. Okay, let me just say, he sent me flowers, and then he bought me flowers when I was in Columbus.
I love that for you.
And he buys me my favorite caramel popcorn, which I love. So I know.
Oh my God, one time Brian, because he knew I was on my period, he went to the store, he got snacks.
Love snacks.
And he came back.
I think I love snacks because of you.
Why me?
Because
I love snacks.
You got me onto snacks. You got me onto hot Cheetos.
What do you mean I got you onto hot Cheetos and snacks?
Yeah, you
just
did.
Never had hot Cheetos and snacks before?
Not like in that capacity. Whenever we used to go on the pod, we used to go to the liquor store and we used to get a bunch of snacks.
Dude, my life.
Ever since then, I've been buying snacks.
I love snacks.
So he's like, you love snacks. So I'm like, I do love snacks.
You're like, fucking Steph. Got me into snacks. Yeah, no, one time Brian like went to the store because he knew that I was like trying to eat healthy. I kind of went off these past couple weeks.
Girl,
But this
haven't
one,
we all?
but you know, it's whatever. But the like that one time I was healthy, but also was like going through my cravings. he came back with like a really small like hot Cheeto bag because he was like, oh, like your portion, you know. And then I like ate it, and then he comes back 2 hours later, another portion hot Cheeto bag. I was like, portion, pour a small portion. And I was like, stop it. And then the next day he had another one. I thought that was like, this is the man of my dreams. Just handing me hot Cheetos throughout the day.
What?
I'm into
like,
that.
Quality control.
I know. Exactly. Like he was just like monitoring my like hot Cheetos. Because bitch, you know me with my hot Cheetos.
I know you and your hot Cheetos.
If you get me a big bag,
You're going to eat it.
I'm going to eat that whole entire big bag in one sitting.
Yeah.
So he's
I
like,
would do the same.
I'll let you have your cravings, but I'm going to
monitor your cravings. And you know, something similar, except it made me extremely upset.
Fred.
Okay, Fred. You're going to believe that.
Yeah.
So it made me just upset because it was like 10 o'clock at night and I was so hungry. And he was like, okay, I'm going to make you a plate. Bitch, he brought me bird food. It was like, not even bird food. The food was good, but the quantity was like 3. I said, what is this? What are
You're like, I want a motherfucking, I want snacks.
I want to be full. I want to be like, I can't breathe. And it's like, he's like, babe, it's so late. You shouldn't be eating. I was like, what do you mean I shouldn't be eating this late? He was like, it's just not. And I was like, so upset at him. And I went to sleep upset until the next day. And I was like,
I'd be pissed too.
yeah, I was so mad. But then I was like, well,
but also I would actually be thankful
he
because
loves me.
I get really bad acid reflux.
Yeah,
so
me too.
You do too?
I do.
At night,
I think we're
you wake
old.
up?
Yeah, girl.
Do you wake up at
I
night?
can't have boiling crab because
Me too. Dude, me too. One time I had boiling crab and I had
Bitch.
such bad acid, I threw up in the middle of the night.
It happens to me. So and I have to get mild instead of medium.
Okay.
So mild doesn't make it that
Dude, we're
bad.
fucking
Old.
I have to like carry like my Tums.
Literally, I will have like 3 Tums before, or 3 or 4 Tums before I have.
I feel like Tums don't
boiling
actually
crab.
work anymore for me. I
Really?
have to actually take like anti-acid, like
Pepto-Bismol.
that bitch don't work for me no more too. I use up that
You
shit.
gotta get the hybrid.
I know. What?
The hybrid
What do you
acid
mean?
reflux.
I don't know. I have like these
Medicine.
little like pills that I take. And they actually help.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
you
the
need to
strongest
share
thing.
that with me.
I will. I'll show it to you.
I'm knocking on 30's door. We need it.
Girl.
Dang.
Yeah, that started happening to me around like 29. I
Yeah.
was like, I can't.
It started happening to me probably a year ago, so that's fun. Going through acid reflux. So I think, those small things.
I'm glad I'm not alone because I didn't know what it was at first. I thought it was like.
it feels horrible.
It burns.
It's excruciating.
And it tastes horrible.
And I feel like if we're feeling this now by eating when we are pregnant, it's
game over.
Game over.
Because it's going to be
I'm going to be a
acid.
nightmare.
Me too.
I'm going to just have to have hot tea.
Look at my fucking, like, appetite now. Like, it's gonna be like hot Cheetos with Krispy Kreme donuts.
And now I'm eating
as a
for
sandwich.
2? What?
Bitch.
You want me to eat for 2 and then you're going to deny me food? Do I look
So
like a fool? If I'm pregnant, you give me what I want, when I want, how I want it.
Right.
Because I'm carrying your big head child.
Okay, continue. So
Okay.
he gave you bird food.
Yeah, and then I was like, fine. I guess you're really looking out for me and you really love my well-being.
Because that acid reflex gonna hit later.
It's gonna hit later. So yeah, girl. Yeah, but he's a great guy. He's my. I don't want to date anyone else. I went to even this is how I knew I was really in love with this man. Do you know who Damon Idris is?
No.
So he's this black guy. If I show you him, you will know him. Everyone raves about him on the internet. He's just like beautiful.
Right.
I saw him at a party, and I was like, "Yo, bless you." I saw him at a party, and I was like, "He's fine." But my man is fun. I was like, this is how I know. Like, it's not an emotion. It's not, because he gets on my nerves. And it doesn't always, our relationship is not always good. It doesn't always feel good.
Yeah, you have fights.
But it always feels right. You know?
Right. That's exactly the way to say it. It's just like.
It always feels right. I've never had a feeling that this is just not the right person for me. Never. Yeah. This is the right person for me. It may not be the right time for him to be my boyfriend, but this is my person. Whether he likes it or not, I always tell him, you're going to be my husband. So do what you need to do. Get the help you need to get. Right. Do the therapy you need to therapize. Because at the end of it all, I'm going to have my rock and you're going to be my husband. So
I have the worst jokes tonight.
Therapod? I said that was different.
I haven't been out much, so my jokes are not.
They're not on point.
They're a little rusty.
They're a little rusty.
I was like, it's a Therapod. Jesus, Steph. Okay. Well, okay, I remember and I don't know if you remember the Manifest Man episode.
I do.
There was a point where you were just talking about how when you guys would fight, you know, and how you don't want anyone who like screams at you or like, is like, if they're upset, they say, "Hey, hold on, let me deal with it for a minute and come back."
Yeah.
Like when you guys bicker and have I won't say fights, but disagreements, because it happens.
Yeah.
Is it like
when it depends.
What's his sign?
I don't know. His birthday's on December 25th. Capricorn?
Capricorn.
Yeah. So it depends how he is. So he can be very quiet, and he's very good at, let's talk about this later. Pisses me off. Pisses me all the way off. I hate that shit. I hate it. Let's talk about this later. Because I had to learn that's his way of saying, I need to think about this and bring it back up to you when I'm comfortable. That's another thing. I'm always just like, why does it always have to be when you're comfortable?
Oh my God, you are Brian and I am him. It's like, because he's a Capricorn, I'm Aquarius. We're like I'm on the cusp.
Yeah, so
and Brian's a Cancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So, you guys. So you
because I'll just be like, for instance, we got out of the car, we got in a fight in the car, and we're walking to Target, and he was upset, and he was like talking to whatever his shit, and I was like, and I don't like to fight in public, y'all. Like, if we are outside and there's people around, like, we are not fighting till we get home. Or at least to the car.
Yeah.
And so, right, because we were fighting and bickering in the car, and once we got out, I stayed quiet, and I was just like, not right now. And he was like, oh, really? So it's got to be on your time?
Yep.
And I was like, no, not when there's people around and you like, yeah.
That's me.
And I'm like,
that's me.
I'm like, not right now. We are not doing this in public. I'm not going to be that couple.
And so, so there's times when he's like that. Then there's times when he is very defensive. Very defensive, but I know when he's being defensive, so I'm just quiet. But then he's only defensive when I start piping up. Because when I start piping up, this is game over for everybody. But he never shouts at me. He never is. I never feel disrespected.
Right.
He's never cussed at me. He's never called me stupid or a hoe or a bitch.
Good. He just gets mad.
Yeah.
But not like outrageously.
And then and we argue sometimes, and then literally like we were arguing one day close when he was here. We were like bickering about something, and then we just kissed and then made up. Like sometimes it's just stupid.
Sometimes it's just like, wait, what are we fighting?
Not everything deserves a discussion. Like,
right.
And we have a saying like, "What's understood," and we always say it. And essentially, what it means is like,
I love that. So you're like, okay, so what's understood? Like in this,
exactly. What's understood is like you understand how I feel. I understand how you feel. It, we understand each other. There's no need to get deep into it, and that's how we resolve things sometimes.
Yeah.
So
I actually like that.
Yeah, what's understood?
Like, yeah, what's like what? Because I feel like sometimes I'm like, can you just like listen to me before? Because I think that like, as cancers do, y'all just like you could take it there.
Yes,
you could take.
I can push some buttons.
And you also could like overanalyze the situation.
Me.
Way too much where it's not that deep.
That's him, and he hates it.
Like today,
He hates that I do that.
Yeah, I hate it. I'm like, it's not even about.
You know how many times I've had to talk myself down? I'm my own therapist.
Yeah, no, Brian's like that. Like, for instance, today, like, we were FaceTiming, and I was working, and we were FaceTiming, but then he had to get off for whatever reason. So he's like, all right, I'm going to go. And I was like, oh, okay, bye. Hung up. He was so pissed. He was like, what you got? Like, he's like, he sent me, like, a bunch of question marks.
Wait, why did you just hang up on him?
Because one, I was working and he said he gotta go, so I was like, okay, bye, and I hung up.
Oh,
and he was like, why was that so abrupt? Why couldn't? He's like, what? Did you know why? Did you know why I needed to go? And I was like, I don't know why. He was like, well, because you didn't give me the chance to tell you why I needed to go. And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I understand him.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know it was really abrupt. I was like, you just said you had to go, so I was like, okay, bye, and I hung up. Like, I didn't need details. But like, that's the thing is, he wasn't gonna do anything. He had to just go make food. Like, did you really? Like, it's, like, you know what I mean?
It's not what he was going to do. Is the point that you did not ask.
Like, yeah, I was just like, okay, bye. Like,
and sometimes I do that. Like, what makes I know this grinds Fred's gears is that when he's like, "What's wrong?" and I'm like, "Nothing."
You are Brian. You and Brian are the same.
Nothing. I'm good for a nothing. I'm good for a nothing and a
shit. And I'm always like, no, really. Like, I will like keep drilling and be like,
yeah,
I know something wrong.
That's him. He was like,
you and Brian are cancer. I'm telling you, this is the moment where you realize astrology is fucking real because cancers, y'all fucking like. He would just be like, I'm nothing.
Yeah,
something is. But he's just sitting there like all fucking mopey and shit. And I'm like,
but you know what? I'm also realizing that when I say nothing, sometimes I'm still processing how I feel, and
I get that,
and because I feel with me, I'm realizing that I do have some hurt from my past relationships, so I don't want to project that onto him. So there is genuinely something wrong, but I don't know if it's anything that has to do with him. So I don't want to say this is an issue. Then I realize that this is not. But
that's the moment where I would wish that if you were my girlfriend, I would be like, tell me there is something wrong, but you need a moment. Like, I feel like sometimes I'll, like, when Brian does it, I'd be like, no, like, I know something's wrong and you're kind of upset with me and you need a moment, but I like need that validation that you're upset with me so I can know how to move around you.
Right. And sometimes I do say I'm processing. That's my way of being like, I'm processing. But then he'll be like, processing what? And then I'm like, nothing.
Man.
I should have a shirt that says nothing. Literally, because and sometimes I say nothing just because I want the attention and I want you to think. I want you to wallow in me
and to give you the attention and be like
the discomfort of knowing that something's wrong and you don't know what's wrong. So
oh my god!
I know that's
Brian. Do you do that?
That's so toxic. I'm working on it.
It's okay. But we all have our toxic
that's
traits.
So and those are the things I'm very self-aware. I'm very self-aware of the things I do that are toxic, and I correct myself and I apologize quickly. That's big for me. And there's also things that sometimes, oh my god, if I say this,
a lot of editing.
Sometimes there's just, I don't know if you've ever felt this, but sometimes he does something that I wish he would have done that I'm overanalyzing, but then I overanalyze something he does, but somewhere in me is just like, you know his heart, you know he didn't mean it like that.
Right.
This is how you should, this is what he meant. Correct for your brain, like correct your thoughts. There's a lot of thought correction in my relationship with him, and it's from
the trauma.
It's from the trauma, and it's also just me knowing that I have a good guy. I like rest in it, like rest in the fact that you have someone that will protect you, that cares. I'm always feeling like, and one toxic thing I think I've said on the pod before that I've stopped doing is saying, I'm gonna break up with you. I just want to break up.
That was my toxic trait too, was like to always want to break up. And sometimes I'll admit, like sometimes we'll have like arguments and I'm like, it's just be easier just to be single and not deal with it. But then like I have to catch myself and then think like, wait, but like you're thinking this emotionally, and in the long run, I'm gonna want to get back with him tomorrow. Yeah, and then it's just then he's gonna start feeling weird because he's like, wow, you just broke up with me like this, and it just creates this losing the trust and this, you know what I mean? Like this toxicity that keeps happening where you keep breaking up for the drama, and like it's just.
And I will say we did take a break. He asked for a break.
Oh wow! Oh, oh my God, he is me. I did that to Brian in the beginning too.
I hated it. I hated every single second of that freaking break. The break lasted like 4 days, but it wasn't anything.
I think mine too was like a week. Me and him are the same.
He was just like, it has nothing to do with you. The break had nothing to do with me.
It's because he's healing.
Yeah. I understood it, but I didn't like it one bit.
We're in the same relationship, but like opposite.
Yeah. That's what I was like, this is perfect for the pod.
Yeah, because I didn't break up. I took a break from Brian. It was probably like a week long.
I hated it.
Break. Yeah,
I'm sure he hated it too.
He said it on the pod. He was like, it was like.
Oh, that was the break he was talking about. Okay,
yeah, he was
okay.
Like, oh my God, I was like, he like journaled like
that
the
was
entire
me.
Time.
That was me. I was reading my Bible, praying and journaling the whole time because there was just such a discomfort in me. Right. I felt like I had lost a piece of me, and I was like, maybe the break was helpful because it made me realize, nah, you can survive without this nigga. Like, of course, life will be better with him, but you're still that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
You'll be fine.
Yeah, you're fine. You're okay.
Yeah.
Soothe yourself. Like, you're overanalyzing. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, Steph, he would still hit me up at night and be like, hey, babe, just checking in. He would still do that.
Right.
And
I was cold.
I would resent it. I would be like, don't text. I would be like, okay, I'm fine. I'm good. Like, I was so resentful of that process. But that's so selfish of me because it's just like, it's not what I wanted.
Right.
And I always just feel like, oh, he's rejecting me. He doesn't want. That's how I guess Brian and I processed it as rejection.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You and Brian are very similar. Maybe we should have a tripod episode.
I love that because I want to meet him so bad.
I know he hasn't met like very many of my friends yet.
Well,
I felt like you weren't the only one that like really got to know him through the pod. Like a lot of my friends were like, "Oh my God,
yeah, he's great. And I love him for you."
And I feel like I had like not to like throw shade, but I feel like there's some friends out there who kind of like.
Are they jealous?
No, not jealous at all. Just kind of like, for instance, I love you, Rhea, if you're listening. But like Rhea's getting married. Rhea's like one of my best friends.
Yeah.
She's getting married and like later this year.
Yeah.
And
I know Rhea, right?
Yeah. And she met Brian, and I was like, oh, like, can I bring, in front of Brian? She was really fucking drunk. And I was like, oh, like, can I bring Brian to the wedding? She's like, yeah, we're still together. And me and Brian didn't take it personally. We were laughing. We like till this day like laugh about it. We're like, wait, that's kind of hilarious. But it's like I don't blame her either because like she's just being a careful friend because she was really fucking drunk, but also like I haven't had the best history. Mm-hmm. So it's like I know everyone is like on their like toes a little bit. So like the first time like seeing that episode and really see like our dynamic, like some people are like, oh,
same. Because
like, this isn't just like a guy that she's dating. Like this is like,
and people are so surprised that I've gone this long with Fred because they're just like, I'm queen of this is my husband, But this is like really my husband.
Right. But so you are the queen of this is my husband because there's been a few of them. There was a time where you're like, girl, pack your bags in a year because you're gonna be a maid of honor and we doing it in England.
And then when I got a cupid zirconia ring, it was so ghetto. But when my friends met him,
but I believe you know why I believe you.
Why?
Because you're not the same person as you were the past time. That's true. That you'd be like, oh, this is my husband. Because you've like done, and I've seen it, like you've been single for a while. You've done the work. You're so much more self-aware. You've just accomplished, like you're sober now. You're so much more at peace. Right. That like now, and like I feel like there was a point where like you just literally just did not give a fuck about the attention, anything like that. Right. And so seeing you now, and you telling me that you really are like, this is my husband, I believe you way more now than I did before.
And the thing for me,
I don't trust your judgment before.
Yeah,
like, no offense. Well, like,
I was all over the place.
Me too. Fine. We both were.
Yeah, I was all over. I think one thing I will say is with him, I love him to the core of me, but I don't need him to survive. And that's something I hold very close to me. Because I never want to have to rely on a man to keep me mentally, emotionally, physically stable. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying this was for everybody, but for me, I'm sober. I have a lot going on. I get anxiety, and I've had a long history of just life. Right. So I have to get me before anyone has me. Right. So I have to always stay like connected to that and centered in that. And I think that's what's good about the long distance is it's allowing me to learn who I am in relationship, because the Jessica that was in relationship when she wasn't sober isn't the same Jessica that's in relationship when she is, Right. So I'm learning how to love me and also accommodate someone else's love. I'm learning how to create boundaries for myself and not to just give everything to a man. And, I'm putting God first, of course. So, yeah child. That's my man, and I'm going to stick beside him because it's mine. Stick beside him. And if you see him in the streets, leave him alone. He ain't yours. He's mine.
Hashtag Fred.
Hashtag Fred.
Fred forever.
Fred forever. Fred and Jess forever.
I love that.
I love that for me too.
Look at us.
I love how I manifest. I was just about to say.
We manifested.
I manifested him 2 years ago. I manifested him on the pod, and now he's here.
We've done we did the list episode, which is pretty much a manifest, but I was like, we have to redo it because my standards are different.
Yes.
Like I felt like back then when we did do you remember that episode? The list?
I did.
Like I feel like back then I just wanted like a party boyfriend, and that's what I got. I got Morgan, the party boyfriend. And then I was like, I don't like this. And then so I was like, we need to rebrand this man. And we got it. We figured it out.
We did. He's as close to what I like as you can get.
Yeah. So we'll check in.
Yeah, check in 6 months. I'm probably gonna have a rock site now. Hopefully I'll be somebody's girlfriend by then, but if I'm not, we'll see how I feel.
If not, this is the fun, not a fun. Well, it's fun, but it's fun. It's an amazing experience.
Oh, and let me say before we go that one thing he has a lot of emphasis on is building our friendship, and I think a lot of people are like, girl, what are you talking about?
No, that's so important.
But it's so important. And his thing is, he's been in something very serious before. Again, I'm not going to say his business, but his thing also is that friendship is so important because, and my brother said it best. He said, when you're married, you don't go back to, you don't rely on, when she was my girlfriend. You rely on when she's my friend, Right. So when you're angry at your wife, you love her for who she is as a person, who she was as a friend. Those are the things that's your foundation. So I do see what we're building as a foundation for something even greater. So
I love that.
Yeah. Build your foundation, hoes.
Exactly. Build your foundation, hoes.
Don't be building it on sand. Okay. Yeah. We need concrete.
Well, I love you. Do you want to plug yourself?
I love you too. Sure, you can follow me on Instagram, j.clarke, CLARKE _.
Yes, and stay tuned for her mans. We should have him on the phone.
Oh my gosh, he would be really happy. What if he would do it? That would be so funny.
I want to get other couples on the pod and just dissect your guys' relationship and be like, so
He'll be like, and I'm like,
because I love hearing a man talk about how much in love he is.
Yeah.
Like, was that English?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love to hear what you said made sense.
Okay, but yeah. So I want to.
He's calling now. That's so funny.
Say hi.
On the pod.
Okay, no, I'm gonna plug myself. And then follow me, Stefanie Maegan, or go to brocotherapy.com. That shit is there. Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.
Broke Girl Therapy. Broke Girl Therapy. Broke Girl Therapy.